Welcome to Iraqi Dinar News, where you receive real and authentic updates about the Iraqi dinar. If you want to stay informed with moment-by-moment developments, make sure to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Today we are examining an argument that has gained considerable attention among Iraqi dinar followers and economic observers, the case for a potential increase in the purchasing power of the Iraqi dinar. Based on the scale of economic reforms, foreign investment commitments, infrastructure development, and modernization efforts currently underway in Iraq. As always, our goal is not to promote speculation or unrealistic expectations. Instead, we will focus on the economic developments themselves, analyze what they may indicate about Iraq's long-term direction, and discuss what these changes could mean for the country's financial future. One of the key points frequently mentioned by supporters of a stronger Iraqi dinar is the enormous resource potential of Iraq. According to statements attributed to Iraqi government economic advisors, Iraq possesses significant untapped natural resources that could be worth trillions of dollars over the long term. These resources include oil, natural gas, minerals, industrial opportunities, and agricultural potential. For decades, Iraq's economic story has largely been centered around oil exports. While oil remains the dominant source of government revenue, policymakers have repeatedly stated that the country's long-term objective is diversification. The logic behind diversification is straightforward. Economies that depend too heavily on one source of income can become vulnerable to fluctuations in global commodity prices. By expanding into multiple sectors, a country can create greater stability and reduce risk. This brings us to another important development. In February 2025, international energy giant BP signed a major agreement related to the Kirkuk region. The reported value of this project attracted attention not only because of its size, but also because it represents long-term confidence from a major international company. When multinational corporations commit billions of dollars to projects within a country, they are generally making decisions based on extensive research, risk assessments, and future projections. These companies evaluate political stability, economic trends, legal frameworks, infrastructure conditions, and expected returns before committing substantial capital. The significance of the Kirkuk Agreement extends beyond the headline figure itself. Large-scale investment projects can generate employment, stimulate local economic activity, support infrastructure development, and potentially increase future production capacity. Each of these factors can contribute to broader economic growth. At the same time, another major international energy investment has continued to draw attention. Total Energies has been involved in a large integrated energy project in Basra, valued at approximately $27 billion. This project has been viewed by many analysts as one of the most significant foreign investment initiatives in Iraq in recent years. The importance of integrated energy projects lies in their ability to address multiple challenges simultaneously. Such projects can improve energy production, reduce waste, strengthen infrastructure, and support broader industrial development. They can also help create a more reliable environment for future business investment. When examining these developments together, a pattern begins to emerge. Iraq is not simply focusing on short-term revenue generation. Instead, there appears to be an emphasis on building long-term economic capacity. Supporters of the argument for increased dinar purchasing power often point to this distinction. Their reasoning is that countries investing heavily in modernization, infrastructure, and economic expansion are typically seeking stronger economic performance rather than preparing for currency weakness. However, it is important to understand that economic development alone does not automatically lead to currency revaluation. Currency policy is influenced by many factors, including inflation, monetary policy, foreign reserves, fiscal discipline, trade balances, banking sector stability, and broader economic conditions. This is why observers should be careful not to interpret any single investment announcement as direct evidence of an imminent currency adjustment. Financial systems are complex, and policymakers must consider multiple variables before making significant monetary decisions. Another development frequently discussed in relation to Iraq's modernization efforts is the implementation of the Asikua customs system across all 22 border crossings. This may not sound as exciting as billion-dollar energy deals, but many economists would argue that customs modernization can have an enormous impact on a country's economy. ASWIQA is an electronic customs management system designed to improve efficiency, increase transparency, reduce corruption risk, and strengthen revenue collection. By digitizing customs processes, governments can gain better visibility into trade activity while reducing opportunities for inefficiency and revenue leakage. For Iraq, the nationwide implementation of electronic customs procedures represents a significant administrative reform. Modern customs systems can improve the movement of goods, facilitate international trade, and increase government revenues without necessarily raising tax rates. Efficient customs operations are often considered a hallmark of modern economic management. International investors frequently look for these types of institutional improvements because they can reduce uncertainty and improve the business environment. From an economic perspective, stronger customs administration can contribute to better fiscal performance. Increased government revenues can support infrastructure projects, public services, and economic development initiatives. This is one reason why many analysts view customs modernization as a meaningful structural reform rather than merely a technical adjustment. When supporters of a stronger dinar discuss these reforms, they often argue that countries do not invest heavily in modernization, digitalization, and economic infrastructure if they intend to weaken their currency over the long term. There is some logic behind this observation. Governments generally seek policies that support economic growth, attract investment, and improve confidence in the financial system. Nevertheless, it is equally important to recognize that exchange rate policy serves multiple purposes. A government may maintain a particular exchange rate structure even while pursuing extensive economic reforms. The decision depends on broader strategic goals and economic conditions. Therefore, while these developments may strengthen the long-term economic foundation of Iraq, they should not be interpreted as definitive proof of any specific future exchange rate action. Looking at the short-term outlook, these projects and reforms may help improve investor sentiment toward Iraq. Increased foreign investment, infrastructure development, and institutional modernization can contribute to a more favorable economic environment. Short-term benefits could include increased employment opportunities, greater business activity, enhanced government revenues, and improved confidence among domestic and international stakeholders. However, short-term economic improvements do not necessarily translate into immediate changes in currency valuation. Policymakers typically prioritize stability, especially during periods of significant reform. In the long term, the picture becomes more interesting. If Iraq successfully implements its reform agenda, expands energy production, strengthens non-oil sectors, improves governance, modernizes customs administration, and attracts sustained foreign investment, the country could potentially achieve stronger economic performance over time. A stronger economy generally creates more options for policymakers. It can improve government finances, strengthen foreign reserves, enhance investor confidence, and support broader development goals. Many dinar followers focus on these long-term possibilities because they see them as indicators of a country working toward greater economic strength and international competitiveness. From a purely economic perspective, the most important question is not whether a particular exchange rate event will occur tomorrow, next month, or next year. The more important question is whether Iraq is building the foundations of a stronger and more diversified economy. The evidence discussed today suggests that Iraq is making significant efforts in that direction. Major international energy investments, infrastructure development, customs modernization, and broader economic reforms all point toward an ongoing process of transformation. Of course, challenges remain. Iraq must continue addressing governance issues, infrastructure needs, private sector development, regulatory improvements, and economic diversification objectives. Long-term success depends not only on launching reforms, but also on sustaining and effectively implementing them. Economic progress is rarely a straight line. There can be setbacks, delays, and unexpected obstacles. Nevertheless, many observers view the current trajectory as evidence that Iraq is actively pursuing modernization and growth. For Iraqi Dinar followers, the key takeaway is that these developments should be analyzed within the broader context of economic fundamentals. Major investments and reforms are generally positive indicators of economic ambition and long-term planning. They demonstrate efforts to strengthen productive capacity, improve efficiency, and create conditions that may support future growth. At the same time, responsible analysis requires acknowledging that currency policy decisions involve numerous variables. No single project, agreement, or reform can guarantee a specific outcome regarding exchange rates. What can be said with confidence is that Iraq continues to attract significant international attention, secure major investment commitments, and pursue reforms designed to improve economic performance. Those developments are important in their own right, regardless of any future currency decisions. As the country continues implementing its economic strategy, investors, economists, and dinar followers alike will be watching closely to see how these reforms translate into measurable economic results over the coming years. Thank you for watching today's Iraqi Dinar update. If you appreciate responsible, factual, and balanced coverage of Iraqi economic developments, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you never miss an update. As always, this content is provided for informational and educational purposes only and should not be considered financial, investment, or trading advice. Always conduct your own research and consult qualified financial professionals before making any investment decisions.